Everybody loves aliens, at least I think they do, and everybody loves aliens in video games. And kicking off our list today with some of the best aliens ever is the necromorph in Dead Space. Now, aliens are a massive part of the gaming world, especially in science fiction. It can be tough to come up with original alien types since there's already so many, but today we've got you. Necromorphs, these things are nasty, parasitic creatures that force themselves into human host and grossly mutate their bodies into something new and much, much more evil. Now, the necromorphs are also extremely dense, requiring you to dismember them to stop their advances, which is not only terrifying when you first played Dead Space, but it also added this unique level to the combat. It's a perfect way to get this list going. Okay, if it's not the necromorph, it's the xenomorph in Alien Isolation. Now, the xenomorph first debuted in Alien, a sci-fi horror film from Ridley Scott. This gave birth to a massive franchise that has seen many movies and quite a few video games, although most of the games were pretty lame. Perhaps the best game in the series, though, is Alien Isolation, a survival horror game that takes place in between the first two Alien movies, and it has you venturing around a cargo ship with a xenomorph hunting you down. Now, the animations and sound design, they are terrifying, and when you mix it with some very, very tough and sometimes a little unfair AI, you've got one of the scariest video game villains of the decade, and it's an alien. Next up is the Fallen in Destiny. Now, Destiny has always gotten kind of a bad rap, mixed reception for its gameplay and its business practices, but it's hard to deny the extremely detailed and fascinating lore around many of its alien species. The Fallen are a race of four-armed insect-like creatures that travel the galaxy attempting to reclaim the Traveler and restart the golden age of their civilization, no matter what the cost. They are pretty frequent enemy types in the game, and they always make for an interesting fight thanks to their technology and their design, and their AI programming. You can't have an alien list, awesome alien list, without the Krogans in Mass Effect. Now, Mass Effect is chock full of unique alien species, and one of the most recognizable are the Krogans, a large reptilian alien originally from the planet Tuchanka, not to be confused with Tuchanka from Rainbow Six, although he's pretty reptilian as well. And the Krogans' home planet was destroyed in a nuclear civil war that sent the survivors around the galaxy. They were separated into a few different factions. Krogans appear quite frequently throughout the Mass Effect universe, with the most recognizable being Urdnot Rex from the original trilogy, often bringing plenty of brute force into combat scenarios. At number 6, Metroids in Metroid. Now, the Metroid franchise was extremely influential, and it's still home to some of the best action platformers ever made. The story has you playing as a bounty hunter named Samus Aran going after the Metroids, a type of alien parasite that was being used by space pirates to create deadly bioweapons. Now, there's different kinds of Metroids, depending on the stage of mutation, but all of them are very creepy and very intimidating, especially when partnered with the often eerie music of the Metroid games. Now, Metroid Prime 4 has been reportedly having some trouble during development, so let's hope Nintendo is still able to pull off something great. Cracking into the top 5, the Cryptosporidium 137 and Destroy All Humans. Is anybody else hyped for Destroy All Humans remake coming next year? Are you? It was a very unique and fun action game from 2005, had you playing as an alien coming to the US during the Cold War in order to harvest human DNA. Now, the game is a parody of the world during the 50s and 60s, and it has some great visual gags as well as some funny writing and some fun gameplay. Destroy All Humans is a cult classic, and its remake is set for release in 2020, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Next up is Tyrion in Mass Effect, another one of the most recognizable species from this universe. The Tyrians are a rather humanoid alien race that are known for their high intelligence, strict discipline, and military strategy. And they actually have a bit of warring history against the Krogans. Now, Tyrians are very tall with long limbs and fingers and a metallic carapace. The most recognizable Tyrion character in the Mass Effect series is Garrus, a party member in all 3 of the games in the original trilogy, and you definitely get to know him well throughout your journey. One of the most terrifying alien races is the Flood from the Halo series. Do you comment when you first experienced the Flood? Tell me what it was like. Now, the Flood have had varying levels of importance throughout the Halo series, with them sometimes serving as a secondary villain and other times serving as the main focus. But regardless of when you encountered them, they were almost always terrifying and very difficult to deal with. The Flood are like the necromorphs. They attach themselves to dead bodies and bring them back in new mutated animated forms. And they are definitely one of the best alien races in gaming history, but there was another one in the Halo games. Can you guess it? That's right, the Covenant. Now, Halo wouldn't have been such a massive sensation if it were not for the aliens that served as our villains and later our friends. The Flood, they were more intimidating, yes, but the Covenant were more iconic and recognizable, and they were also the ones keeping the story moving, from the annoying little grunts up to the intimidating hunters and the iconic elites. The Covenant are definitely one of the most influential and well-designed alien races in gaming history, and they get the number 2 spot today. But in number 1, it has to go to the Combine in Half-Life 2. Now, Half-Life is one of the most important video games of all time. It transformed the way we saw storytelling in first-person shooters and single-player games as a whole. The sequel continued this tradition and introduced you to the Combine, an alien force that has taken over Earth before your character wakes up to begin the story. Now, it isn't one specific race, but rather a whole empire made up of aliens and some humans and synthetics in order to occupy Earth and keep its citizens in control. Half-Life 2 is one of the best games ever made, and that is largely thanks to the Combine's effectiveness as a villain, and if you ask me, they take the number 1 spot on today's list. There you go. Those are some awesome aliens in video games. Let me know one that didn't make the list that was deserving. My name is Chaos. This has been another episode of Gaming Facts by Gameology, and I'll see you soon.